Okay, this is my Dapol Class 59 Yeoman without its body on. I bought the DC version because it was cheaper. Fortunately, down to Julian over in New Zealand, I won, I think it was second place. I got a TMC voucher off of him, so I utilised it to purchase the Class 59 for an even bigger bargain price. I then shopped around for a sound chip. Went with the DC Kits Legomanbiffo file, I think is on this one. Some people have remarked about the chip and the capacitor. There is enough movement on the cap just to lift it up, move it over slightly and reposition it. It comes pre-wired with the speaker output wires. What I done was I had a small connector. I've attached that to it, doubled back on it and put some heat shrink on, which has enabled me to keep the Akira Thrash EM1 type speaker intact. I haven't had to cut the plug off. So if I want to have a little play around with different speakers I have that also have that plug, it's a fairly easy operation just to experiment with different speakers in the future. I did have to cut one lug off just to clear the circuit board. I probably could have got it underneath, but I didn't want to put any strain on the board. So the lug this side tucks underneath the circuit board for the lighting feed. And then there's just a bit of black tack and a bit of Captain tape just to keep these together out of the way. So, crunch time. F1 startup. You hear the air being released. It's going through the brake procedure before it will pull off, which some of my American locos do. And some of the Americans are probably thinking this sounds a bit familiar. Because it does have, in real life, an EMD power plant. It's not overly loud, but I don't think that's really an issue. Obviously the acoustics will improve when the cover's back on it. It will give them some sound bouncing back off of. The overrun is quite generous. I've turned the controller right off and it does run on for quite some time, which is adjustable on the CV settings. Obviously I'm not too aggrieved by it. I will adjust it to suit my needs because it is going to carry quite a long rake of PTAs, so obviously that would be a lot of weight. It's not going to stop on a sixpence, so I will play with that when you know, to suit the layout. So I will get the body back, just check all the lighting functions still work. I don't believe I have to change the switch settings on this as it's got an ESU chip in it. Not sure. I don't think the paperwork that I've read indicates any issues. It's only for the lighting functions and what options you want to use it for. So we'll be back shortly. So driver inserted in the cab. Wasn't too bad. You do have to just sort of raise them up away, all in one piece. There's two contact pins. You have to just prise it up, and there's two little retaining lugs under the glazing sheet here. So you have to sort of raise it up slightly, pull it out, raise it up some more when it comes out, and sort of fitting it back in. You locate the cab part under the edge there, start to click it back in. It'll only go down so far and then you push it forward and drop it back in place. So let's have a see what it's like with the body back on. So it does seem to capture that bassy note from the exhaust that you get with the real machine. It is obviously an EMD 645 16-cylinder engine, same as in the SD40s and SD45s. So I just tried drive lock, which is at function 8, same as on the Akira scale. But yeah, it's a little on the quiet side. I will probably just experiment with the audio just to bring it up to the point where you don't want it rattling like some boy racer's fart box down the housing estate. But yeah, quite happy with that. So far so good. I haven't gone through the lighting functions. I'll do that off camera and give it a little run round with something to pull on it. Well, that's it. Quite pleased with the results there. All the lighting systems seem to work as the Legomanbiffo instructions. The only bit I printed off was option 19, directional auto extinguishing, which is basically the cab lights. And there's various options there for changing CV settings and such like, but I've ran through them all off camera. I'm sure there's already plenty of videos, so I didn't want to waste any more time on them. But yeah, audio volume, it's probably being swallowed up by that larger speaker, so I think, you know, a few notches up on the audio. It's just about over the top of the running noise of my latest acquisitions, as you can see here, which will be seen in an upcoming video.